All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Oshi no Ko, Season 2, Episode 1. We're back to the show.
Yeah. Oh my god. I've missed this show.
I have too.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of dark. It's got cool characters. And it's kind of modern and relevant and... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What, parasocial relationships and things like that?
YouTubers in MyAnimeList? One of them just wears a duck, mask and...
Memcho best girl. Why? No reason?
I mean, yes, Memcho is amazing, but Kana best girl.
No, Kana is fantastic. But Memcho.
But Kana,
nah, man.
The character.
Kana, okay. From a serious perspective, absolutely Kana.
Yeah.
From you go. Memcho, 100%.
I mean, I feel like we're gonna relate to the issues and problems of Memcho a lot more for reasons, but also the fact that Memcho is actually just full on an adult, at 25 years old. It's gonna be like, all right, yeah, cool.
Yes, there we go.
Awesome, wonderful.
Yeah.
But there are also some other characters that are actually kind of adults as well in this story, and one of them is on their Death Note kind of. Must find, must kill.
And I'm very excited to see what level of balance they do with regards to Aqua's whole mission, because this show has a lot of fun with basically being hey,
getting away from it and then going back into it.
Basically having its cake and eating it, where it's hey, here's all the many problems of the idol industry. We're also going to showcase why we love the idol industry, right? And so Aqua is kind of the poster boy of that, where it's there are all these evils that I must vanquish. Well, at the same time, I'm
going to use every bit of it that I can.
Are you just hey, getting justice? I'm all for that. At the same time, you are totally just becoming a stalker, right? And so to what degree are we gonna?
Yeah, he's still a few steps away from that.
Right. It's that's a further down the road thing. But we see the signs.
Problem for there, yeah. But also, first season gave us a phenomenal opening. One of the best openings we've had in a while.
I don't know how this season will be able to compete. I'm sure it will. But
I would love for this one to surprise us with a mind-blowing ED.
You know me. I have a very, very special place in my heart for EDs. So,
Same.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
But all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Fun. Feels very meta. Watching other people watching a production.
Sure.
That's supposed to be in live action of an animated thing while ours is animated. Oh, this is high-level production.
Yeah.
Red and blue for Kana and Akane. I love the decision to keep this POV, we're in the audience.
Right, we're actually just watching it, or this is the camera that's recording it for online distribution.
We're getting an opening of the play in the first episode of an anime, almost substituting it as the anime opening.
Which, by the way, if any of y'all are watching this and are oh, I've never seen anime stage plays, they're pretty fantastic. You should check some of them out.
The Haikyuu stage plays are fucking amazing.
They're awesome.
Jacob, we're watching Demon Slayer. They all have their elemental forms with their sword.
I gotta say,
here.
This stage play that they're doing has phenomenal casting. I can't tell the difference between the actors and the anime characters.
Tokyo Blade. Stage play, yes.
Oh! All right.
2 new characters, okay. Cool. They're gonna take the top of the stage there.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, masks are a hell of a thing, aren't they? I am loving some of the visuals in this and what they might imply.
Yeah. Anytime I see something that seems to imply or hint at potential death too, I have to think about that in the context that, Ai's already dead, so that could be just a reference back to that. Fun. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
cool.
can't forget that.
Yeah.
Is that Kana?
No, I think it's going to
way.
be an entirely different character, but it feels kind of interesting that. Oh,
okay.
it's Akane. Okay. Right, 2.5D. Right. Okay. Getting to meet everybody. And their characters along with that, yeah. 4 months. Okay. So we're well into production with the stage play. And we're growing. Okay.
I was gonna say, because in the OP, the characters looked that little bit older.
Sure. There's that tiny little bit.
4 months might not seem like a lot, but, you know, when you're in high school, that's a decent bit.
Right. Because you don't know, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and she's even growing her hair out. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh no, the Shibuya arc.
Wait, we can't have that.
Not again.
Danger.
Wow, lots of detailed animation.
But you're so good at it.
Right. Stage performers, they live for acting. Yeah,
oh, yeah. You don't just stumble into...
Me, I'm a phony, yeah. My whole existence here is an acting gig, yeah. The little stars, they're not the same, but...
Yeah, well, and the idea that that was...
views her
well, but almost like she got into character there of just...
Right, and that's the one that set up our guy. Oh, he got into character there the way he like stood up. Oh shit. He has aura.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's method. Cool.
Wow.
They both bring the best out of each other.
No, I think it's just he brings the best out of her. Like,
oh, sure. Yeah.
Like he is bringing this character.
Right. And for her, it's refreshing because she's used to not having that be the case.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Fuck, that's awesome.
Painting with their imagination.
Huh, I claim you. There are a whole bunch of threes. Damn, just a month and for that.
Yeah, that's crazy. She's like, I'm actually like book smart too. Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what the fuck does this mean? This guy's an actor neat. He just sits at home and plays video games and acts. Like, that's probably it. He's got the look and everything. Aqua, yeah. He's in his own little world, not in any of the cliques. Right, and she's kind of traumatized by her fall off early on. Yeah. Feeling like she's terrified of failure. So you're gonna do for me what you did for Kana back, back in the finale of the anime adaptation. Yeah, yeah, a little bit too calm. Uh-oh. No, they just don't have time. Oh. He kind of is like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because so much of it is just what the people want, but...
Oh, so
Gotcha.
identifying my character is rather hard. Wow.
That's not meta at all.
That's so meta.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Dang.
That's... Right. But you can't deviate from what your character is supposed to be.
Right.
You just need to be the best possible version of them.
Fuck, that's so cool having the things that she's inspired from. Wow, so they're sacrificing her character even more.
Gotcha.
Just for the play. Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting the energy that her character would have would be more like the commanding imperial, you know.
Oh. You can talk to him.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. So the mangaka is involved with the play.
Right.
A little bit. Yeah, ask him.
But if something's unclear, it's probably going to
All right, let's have Aqua work his
Aqua.
mature magic here. Yes, both of you together.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be that the changes are problematic, just
Right.
what's the best way to get the most out of these changes.
Right.
Cool.
He's competent. He knew that this would be an issue.
Right.
Bloat, yeah. Uh-huh.
Right.
A multi-point of view play, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Right.
That bad guy role.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It sucks, but it's just... Yeah, so picking an emotion that's very easy to understand. Oh,
Right.
new character. Oh, this is the mangaka!
Oh, okay. All right.
This is the creator of the Sweet Today. Oh, cool!
I love it.
You did so well! What? What? Oh, because he was the other character that they played alongside. That's right.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, that's
guys
the thing
and
about,
girls.
about writers.
Yes.
It's not exactly a social profession.
No, this is too real. The mangaka showing up being like, you
I just
are
made a thing that I thought was
so,
cool
like,
and
pretty and amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh, small.
yeah.
Oh, 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 all of it, the whole thing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. I knew that was coming.
With 30 days to rehearse. We're on day 6 or 5 or whatever, and it's like, hey, so could you just redo the whole thing?
Oh my God, so many characters, so many new things to keep track of here.
It's like with all of the revenge and idle stuff and everything, it's easy to forget for me how fun it is to see them just go through the back end production of just show business,
right? Show business, of media, of many different types.
Exactly. Keeping each type different so that way you're learning something new with each arc.
Right, and it keeps things fresh, but then it also is fun to see the characters adapt to that new environment because some of them are going to have strengths and weaknesses corresponding to those types of media. And the idea that, Akane, for instance, should be the most at home here, and yet she's the one that's struggling the most because her character doesn't seem to be giving her much to work with.
Right.
She's used to probably being in a theater type environment where you're given characters that have a lot of range of ways to express themselves so you can go fully in and lose yourself in the character. But she's playing a one-dimensional kind of plot device princess character, which is like...
Yeah, which I gotta say, well, that absolutely sucks and I feel for you. The idea that it's like, princess character that's just sort of established at the beginning to be the, generic love interest. Bride to be. And then it's like, oh, hey, and then
over the course of the time of the manga's going,
Genki character, it
has that raw energy and kind of
just ends up being the fan favorite, and so it shifts in that direction. Major respect.
Major respect to the manga fans are based.
Down with the princess trope. It's overused. It's not needed.
It's just not as big now in modern times, I would say. Yeah. And also just the idea of hell yeah, we fight and train together. That's where the sparks fly. Let's go.
Exactly. And then the mangaka coming in at the end of everything and being like, hey, so is it too late to ask you to revise the script? And they're like, oh yeah, which parts? All of it.
I love the contrast of Abiko coming in and being like, I'm really nervous with all these people, and they're so pretty, and these boys and girls.
Oh man, they're working so hard. Stayed in a small room creating a manga,
and they're trying so hard, and I'm about to shit all over their work. But is it too late to maybe revise all of it?
Because let's be real.
The confidence to be able to say that.
Yeah.
And also to be like, oh my God, everyone's so attractive. You know?
And that's probably where the conundrum kind of comes from because they knew that they were going to ask them to do this before they got to the set, right?
Yes.
They already had the script. Yeah, they'd had the script and they'd looked at it and they probably debated over this a lot. It's like, well, no, I mean, and then they come in here and they're like, no, yeah, everyone really is trying really hard. This isn't like some, lazy thing or whatever. But
I don't like it.
I don't like it,
And I just love the looks from the director and stuff of just this is probably the worst part about adaptations in this regard is that either you get no input from the mangaka, and you just kind of have to roll with it, and you end up having issues.
Sweet Today kind of thing, where it's
or maybe, but then you could also have the mangaka that is involved, but they're fucking up the production kind of things by making absurd requests, or you have the diamond in the rough of the mangaka that's like, hey, I'm only going to insert myself to clarify where things are needed, but you guys take the spin with this here, but I'm just making sure that you hold to the spirit of what this is, and we get something like the One Piece live action adaptation.
Sure.
Where, yes, he was
fantastic.
Oda was absolutely involved in a very strong way, but you can definitely tell that this has a One Piece fans, which the director of that is absolutely, take on it, and the spirit put into it, and it became something wholly different, but also absolutely One Piece. So this, I'm so invested in the journey of the push and pull that comes from this with all the different characters.
One of the things that I sort of learned a bit more recently when working with an editor for writing stuff was the idea that I had the perspective of like, and then the editor is the pro that basically comes in and like, fixes everything or whatever, something along those lines. But the idea that it's wait, no, when you get to a production where it's very big, very involved or something, right? Nobody will necessarily know your story as well as you do because you spent years maybe working on it, right? Even if you get a pro that comes along and they're really good at doing their thing, they won't necessarily be spending the same amount of time getting involved in it as you were. And yet, this is their home turf. This is their medium that they specialize in. So knowing the balance between I think this needs to be reworked versus all the explanations that the director and the scriptwriter were giving, I loved. Hey, I kind of have to play the bad guy role because we can't take the whole thing and, condense it into a 2-hour stage play. That doesn't work. And with multiple perspectives and things like that, like, we have to make those hard decisions. Oh, and then also, we do need to be kind of utilitarian about it in a lot of ways where it's hey, we need a thing that makes it so that this general effect is given because also you need it to be clear for people that are in the back. I hadn't even thought about that, right? If you're doing it as a stage, you can't just have it be something that the people in the front seats are going to be able to enjoy that can get all the like up close nuance maybe, like you have to be able to have those simpler broad strokes. And so then
it has to be carried through almost entirely in the dialogue before it becomes a part of the physical acting. The physical acting probably is the accent that makes those people in the back go, wow, that was cool. But it doesn't make them feel it as much as what your voice implies and also the actual words that you're saying. So, that kind of sucks. You have to make some characters effectively be, plot device, voices for those things so that the people go, oh, okay, this is the conflict. I get it now.
And I love the way that they use Akane to basically demonstrate the job of the actor in interacting with the director of hey, here's the script that I have. I can do this several different ways, right? And it's not just about make it the best performance possible. It's make it the performance that the director is looking for because this needs to be a cohesive whole. Even if Akane had a fantastic performance maybe that she ends up doing for this character.
That was subtler or whatever. Or had more nuance to it.
If it doesn't fit in with the rest, it's no good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the individual perspective of it is better, right? Because you're making a project. And so the idea that there's this back and forth as she's a very competent actor that is trying to figure out how to like navigate that balance, I love. And so now, like, that's just another angle to make it so that I'm excited when the writer comes in and is like, I want you to redo the whole thing. Because now it's like, okay, is she going to get something new to work with that'll maybe be a bit easier? Or like, how is this going to go? So, this will be interesting.
This will be really interesting. And then having, of course, the fun interpersonal dynamics of, Aqua is like, not even really like a big important character in the scheme of things with the story. He's just a guy, a part of the faction that the Princess Saya is a part of. But the main character literally kind of has a love triangle going on right now. And Kana is winning the love triangle in the meta of the story of the stage play, but also
the show itself.
In the show itself. So there's lots of fun ways in which the mangaka of Oshi no Ko is poking at the conventions of manga and the way in which our fantastical stories with these ridiculously over-the-top characters can end up informing some aspects of who we are if we take those things into their
I will say
logical conclusions.
I would love it if more stories, of course it needs to be done with care, but if more stories basically were open to their story changing over the course of writing it, because when you sit out to write it, you're going to have a certain understanding, right? But as you go, the story will take on a life of its own and it'll evolve and things like that. And listening to that evolution is really important.
There's a lot of stories that can do this because of their medium. Some can't do it because of their medium. And that's probably the biggest issue with manga, is that because it's a weekly, monthly, or bi-monthly release or what have you, it has the most potential to change whether you were even intending to or not, because of, you know, just the emotions you're feeling at the time. Lots of little things that will adjust it because things are being turned over so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in a TV show, it depends on what like country you're even in, because the way in which the production of a season of television in the US, if it's like a sitcom or what have you, will be very different if it's like an HBO or straight to Netflix like bingeable thing.
No, yeah, that was one of the like I remember
it completely changes things in that regard too.
Yeah, when those Netflix like Daredevil season 1 kind of, you know, situations with shows and stuff like started coming out, and it's this is what you can do in this kinds of stories you can tell when you're not beholden to, you know,
commercial breaks
or a specific set amount of time for an episode, you know. And so this is
or the whole concept of not necessarily needing to have a cliffhanger that hooks you in so that you tune in next week.
Right, because you're going to maybe be binging it. You know?
And then also what happens in those final few minutes of an episode because of that as well.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that change based on the medium that you're telling. And I think we, as audience members, need to understand that when we're consuming media and stuff like that, is that you're going to end up finding yourself gravitating towards specific things because of trends that are not being made with regards to anything in the story, just with regards to the way the production is handled.
Oh, yeah.
That ends up informing the story.
Right.
And a lot of us, I think, don't want to accept that because then it, in some ways, trivializes the story for those elements there. Because it's hey, this plays second fiddle to the fact that, you know what? In this conflict here, there's people in the back that are not going to understand why this is happening because they're not going to see that intricate movements of your face and what have you and those emotions.
Somebody had to look at Princess Saya not as their baby, but as value judgment. How much are you actually worth? Right? And that's cold. That's cold. But that's what you have to do. And this kind of feels like it's still relevant to the whole idol situation of the obsessive fans, where it's like the creators being like, hey, yes, it is fantastic when these things happen. And yes, we all want them to be the adaptation of our dreams and stuff like that. But at the same time, when that doesn't happen, that doesn't mean it's because the people are being lazy or whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of moving parts, and it's wild that, you know, you get the adaptation in the first place, and it's any halfway decent, you know?
And also, this is something to say that sometimes the story is not built for that kind of adaptation.
Sure.
There are certain things that basically restrict the story from even going into that type of adaptation.
They kind of brought that up here with the, like, multiple POVs, all these different characters in a 2-hour stage play.
A great example of this, honestly, is Lord of the Rings.
Oh, sure.
Technology made Lord of the Rings basically impossible to properly adapt until the early 21st century, which was only made possible because of technology made in movies like 3 or 4 years prior, with the idea of even being able to make armies of that size look somewhat relatively good at all.
Right.
I remember watching I don't remember which Mummy movie it was, but they had this like very horrible CGI cloned army of horse riders. And it's just like, oh God, to think that that happened like a couple years before the Riders of Rohan charge. Oh. The Return of the King, which looks so phenomenally good. Even to this day, you can see the CGI, and you can tell that it's there.
That's a block of riders that they copied from over there to over here,
right.
Something like
that. But even
then,
it still looks so good. So things that could have been also viewed as unadaptable for decades, like Lord of the Rings, for instance, end up becoming adaptable because of the breakthroughs in the production side of things, not because Peter Jackson, and also his wife, were just gods and goddesses of directing and writing and editing and all that, but also just the production stuff itself.
One of the other things that this made me think of is like, oh, that's right. With those Haikyuu stage plays, there's a whole bunch of characters that they just remove, right? Because it's like...
just get rid of.
No, they're not, like, fundamentally important, and there's a lot of players on this volleyball team. We can't have them all. So they just
can't focus on them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, hey, and who knows what the reasoning is, right? Whether it's just, we'll just remove them just, to simplify things, or it's because, well, we could put them in, but then maybe we would have to kind of change the character a bit in a way that we don't want to do. And so, it'll just be focusing on maybe these 6 characters or something like that.
And this is all what we've gotten by just kind of lightly glancing over Akane's character.
Right.
What happens when we start going to the stage play and we have to take a hard look at everybody's character so that we can get a new direction for the whole story?
Right.
That sounds awesome, but what it also really sounds like It's a really fun opportunity for Aqua to subtly shift the play in a way that puts him in the limelight or the spotlight for the director, so that they can end up building a connection.
Oh, more of a connection of like he impresses them and then he gets closer and is able to, investigate and stuff.
Yeah.
They could totally do that. On top of, the thing that will absolutely continue to happen of, oh, hey, love triangle plays out in the play because it's also playing out, in the anime. Yeah, which yes, of course, why not?
Also, just a fun little detail. The guy who's playing the protagonist, I think, I don't know if we have his name or anything yet, because we got a bunch of names recently.
Right.
But basically, the guy who's playing the protagonist, he looks like he walked in from like playing the typical like video games and just nothing else.
It's like grown up Ray from March Comes In Like a Lion.
Yes.
Suddenly comes in and is like, didn't you know I'm a fantastic actor?
I'm a S-tier actor, but he walks in and he just kind of does this thing where when you see him like coming off the sides, he kind of rolls his shoulder and he like almost like feels like he's like possessed by something.
Yep.
And then when he steps on, he just boom, aura, just presence.
Oh yeah.
And
I loved the way that they had the colors going out from the fight that's happening, because like to showcase that the people watching can feel the acting and the action
playing off against each
even
other,
though they've got rolled up scripts and things like that,
Right.
Yeah,
that was really cool. It's also kind of fun to think that, just from a fun standpoint, that this story, Oshi no Ko, is going into a 2.5D stage play, means that they're not just going to be showing the things on the screen that are the 2D aspects to emphasize for everybody that can, not necessarily see all the details
some
there.
Special effects or whatever.
Right, some special effects there can then lead to moments where the anime will have to then animate for us the actual fights.
Oh yeah, it can be a full like I don't think you've seen this show, but like Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions, where it's like, yes, show them as if they actually were the characters, having their epic fight and all that stuff. Yeah.
Which just feels so fun. So it almost in a fun, completely meta way feels like the mangaka wanted to use the fact that they knew that this would get adapted into an anime to showcase the production of what it would be like to then have the production of a stage play, which is based off of a manga. It's just this fucking loop. It's
absolutely great fun.
That's great fun. And props to the creators of Oshi no Ko as a anime. This anime already, just in episode 1, just had some great animation just for the little bits of time that we did have to focus on that, like with the fight with Kana and the main character.
Right. Yes.
But that was awesome. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.